PRMG Chief Lending Officer. What do you do? What does it mean?
I ask myself that all the time. We have 3 channels. We have 2,700 employees. We've got a wholesale channel, a retail channel, and a correspondent channel. So, as the chief lending officer, I am my main role is to make sure that sales is functioning for all 3 channels. As one of the 4 partners here, I've got my hands in a little bit of everything. So I'm always trying to push things forward and make sure the platform is growing. And sometimes to set up sales to make sure they're good, that's to make sure that ops and sales work well together, that's to make sure we have modern technology, and to make sure that everything is moving forward. So that's KP in a nutshell.
I'm a little bit of an optimistic person in general, and I saw one of your latest video on LinkedIn, and I felt really good about it. So thank you for that. And I was thinking about, you were talking about how 2021 is starting in a good way. The new things that are happening with the new administration and in the housing market, etc. Do you think, is it possible, 100 years ago, the war was over, the First World War was over, there was a pandemic that then got resolved, and then we had the roaring 20s, right? Do you think that could happen again?
Well, don't you understand now why they're all wearing like the flappers and the suits and they're out hanging out?
Yeah.
They just came out of a war and a pandemic and they were cooped up and they're wearing masks, and now it was like unleash, and that's exactly what we're going through again. So yeah, thank you for watching my content. You're welcome if you get anything out of it. Yeah, I know. Some people are calling this the roaring 2020s. So isn't it funny how history repeats itself, and human nature really hasn't changed that much.
Yeah, and so in your video, you were talking about the availability of cash and how that would influence more investment. Is that what you think is going to happen?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Fed is being very calculated in their moves. They wouldn't wouldn't buy so much debt to have so much stimulus in the system if they didn't think it was gonna work. And so, look, they're buying mortgage-backed securities, which are keeping rates low. They're buying more treasuries, so they're buying debt at the lowest interest rates of all time. So they're bringing the debt load down for the U.S. government, even though they're buying a lot of it. And then, of course, there's money being applied to businesses, to stimulus checks for people who are unemployed, for projects. There's a lot going on. And so, you just got to get people off the sidelines and get out of this, this pandemic recession. For all technical purposes, the recession is over from a technical perspective, even though we had 2 negative GDP quarters in a row, and then we have a positive one. We're going to have another positive one in Q4 reading coming out. So how do we get the group that's stuck on the sidelines, the group that's not employed? Most of that has to do because of a health hazard and all the lockdowns and all the restaurants and service industries are closed. And those are starting to reopen. Right here in California, they finally said, all right, we're lifting your bans. Chicago's lifting their bans. I just spent a couple weeks in Texas. They're wide open. Florida's wide open. So I feel like things are starting to open up. And of course, we're coming into the spring and in the summer where people just come out naturally. I think we're really moving in the right direction.
And we were making a comparison with 100 years, what happened 100 years ago. But of course, a lot of things have changed, including the technology. And I'm partial because we do AI, right? But do you think, what role is AI going to play, and does it play a specific role in your field in terms of automating processes, automating like a loan origination, for example? Do you see any of that happening?
Yeah, I think one of the big differences between now and 100 years ago is the velocity at which everything moves forward. And that is really being boosted by artificial intelligence, by machine learning, by technology. So I literally was just reading an article that Amazon has 800,000 employees in the U.S. They hired 400,000 people just in 2020.
Yeah.
So, the AI is moving things forward. Now it's up to us to decide how we want to use them. About 3 years ago, I sat in a fireside chat when I signed our initial contract with Salesforce. Mark Benioff was right here in front of me speaking with a gentleman named Uli who runs ABB. And they basically, this is a big power grid company, 125,000 employees. And they're sitting across from each other. They said when, not if, when 45% of the world's jobs are automated. What are we going to do as responsible corporate leaders, as executives, to help people be retrained or do other stuff? We're just going to take the savings and set people aside? No, we're not. We're going to be, corporate well-being is about taking care of our people. So it's coming. It's here in our business. We've got chatbots to answer questions. I love the stuff that you're putting together when it comes to answering questions. You've got the servicing side. AI does quite a bit. It's helping us with our underwriting. There is a lot that it can do, and the best is yet to come, in my opinion, as it relates to AI.
Fantastic. Kevin, I'm a big fan. How do I best follow you? LinkedIn, of course, but do you have anything else, a YouTube channel or something like that?
Yeah, I do most of my content on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Under Kevin Peranio. But you're the first one to get the breaking news here. I'm actually going to cut up some of that content and put it out to the broader audience and try and teach financial literacy. I feel there's a need for the broader public to understand housing, finance, and investing, how to build wealth and create wealth. So KP talks dollars and cents. And that's sense as in common sense. So I'm going to try and put that out there. It should be out there on Instagram and TikTok and other places. So I'm going to try and spread the love and help as many people as I can.
Thank you very much. Love it. Perfect. Yep.